There's a new tell-all documentary about Benjamin Netanyahu and the corruption in the Israeli government that you need to watch. But you probably haven't seen it because it was mysteriously pulled from all the major streaming platforms for reasons. They have some serious bombshells in there, like leaked police depositions from the Adelsons, testimony from Bibi's lifelong best friend, his campaign manager, and co-conspirators in a long list of alleged crimes. But most importantly, the documentary sheds light on how the Middle East got so messed up, how and why Bibi took Israel to war with Hamas, and why he has no intention of ending that conflict. This documentary changes everything. And today, we're going to break it all wide open and show you where you can still find it and watch it for yourself. Welcome back to Candace. A lot of Americans and people around the world don't know enough about Benjamin Netanyahu's corruption trial. I mean, I didn't know enough about his corruption trial. And I didn't know, before I started learning more, that through understanding his corruption trial, you come to understand the current state of the Israeli government and the ultra-right-wing party in power. And tragically, you gain a whole new perspective, a critical perspective on what's happening in Gaza and all the rest of Israel's military actions around its borders right now. And the best place for you to start, after you finish watching this video, of course, is with the documentary that was shortlisted for an Oscar nomination released last year, named The Bibi Files. It's one of the best documentaries you'll ever watch, and it includes leaked police interrogation footage, not only of Bibi and his wife, but also of Miriam and Sheldon Adelson, two of the most powerful Jewish political donors in the world. By the end of the sequence, you can't help but feel the plight of both peoples and rage for the corruption and immorality that led to this whole situation. And that is why this documentary is so important, because it makes it plain for everyone to see that this is a more complex issue than just the Jews versus the Palestinians. It's more complex than just Israel is evil, more complex than blaming an entire group of people for the world's problems. Israel is being preyed upon by a parasite. It is infected by the fringe extremist ideology of Jewish supremacy that has been a significant but not always controlling mindset in Israeli politics until recently. And now, that mindset, that disease, is walking the whole world past one after the next point of no return. This war has claimed the lives of hundreds of thousands of Palestinian civilians at the hands of a US-backed and armed military, which is led by Jewish terrorists that openly state their intentions to ethnically cleanse Gaza and all of Palestine. Netanyahu is so corrupted and absorbed by his own self-preservation that he will go along with just about anything that ensures he holds on to power. Protests have resumed in the streets over his handling of the war and his apparent indifference to the lives of the hostages still held by Hamas more than a year and a half later. The head of the Shin Bet, similar to Israel's FBI, resigned a few months ago, stating that he believed Netanyahu was dictatorial and power-crazed. He claimed that it was clear that if there were to be a constitutional crisis, Netanyahu would expect him to obey the prime minister and not the courts, and that Netanyahu had asked him to use the Shin Bet to spy on Israeli citizens that participated in and supported the protests. Netanyahu denied the allegations exactly as he has with every other allegation, because if there is one thing that Netanyahu is good at, it is acting. He's good at acting however he needs to act in order to escape justice for one more day, to hold on to power for one more day, to delay the inevitable one more day. But the inevitable is coming. This documentary is spreading the truth all throughout Israel and all around the world. And so now I'm going to tell you where to find it so you can watch it too. Unfortunately, Bibi got his way and had it taken down off all major streaming platforms. But I found it still available from the producers on their website. And you should support the producers by going to their website. It's linked in the description below. You can use this URL. There you can click on Stream Now, which was in the bottom left there, and it'll take you to the film that is streamed through Jolt. You can pay for a ticket and support the brave men and women that made this film. They made it at great personal expense and risk, and they have done an immeasurable service to the world. And for the price of about a Big Mac meal, you can vote your support for them. This is obviously not a paid promotion that I'm doing. I have no affiliation with this film. This is just the truth, and it matters. It matters to everyone all around the world because whether we like it or not, Israel is pulling the entire globe into this conflict. Our own politicians are pulling us into this conflict by funding it, endorsing it, and passing speech laws in America if you question it. And the ultimate tragedy of this genocide is that in many ways, it's only possible because this one cowardly, evil man would rather watch the whole world burn than face the consequences of his corruption. He would rather tear down Israel's democratic system, the only democracy in the Middle East. He would rather let his own people remain in Hamas captivity, rather let his own people continue to die in war, his own economy crumble, his own nation and people's goodwill evaporate all around the world, than face justice. Benjamin Netanyahu has opened the gates to the most vile, supremacist, fascist wing of Judaism to take power in Israel and to slaughter Palestinian men, women, and children. He has opened Pandora's box and crossed a line we will never return from. And he's doing it all just to save his own pathetic skin. But his cowardice is being used by extremists in Israel to achieve their own messianic goals. It's being used by deep staters around the world to profit off another forever war. It's being used by the surveillance state to test their dystopian technologies. And it's being used by the ruling class to further divide the people. Ultimately, I hope that we can move this conversation to a mature enough place where Jewish people around the world can have a bit of a reckoning with the reality of their national project, the reality of how their own religion can harbor extremist views, just like the Arabs that they are so quick to point the finger at. No group of people is beyond criticism. No group is exempt from the wickedness of humanity's darkest tendencies, and Jewish people face a unique and difficult reckoning. If Jewish people want to maintain a strong sense of national identity and unity, what happens when members of your tribe commit atrocities for corrupt reasons and then turn the world against you? When Jewish people group up around that identity, what happens when people notice and say Jewish people are conspiring against the rest of the world? How do you reconcile these things? If Jewish people are going to maintain such a strong global identity, to me, it seems that the burden falls to them to a certain degree to hold all other Jews to the highest moral standard. Or else, how can you blame people for collectively blaming Jews when it is Jews who group up collectively and defend the actions of a man like Netanyahu at any cost? And I know a lot of Jews don't do that. A lot of Jews think critically and are outspoken about the corruption in Israel and the insanity of its current course of action. The way that I see it, just me, all Jews are individuals, and they should be treated as such. I would encourage Jews not to treat Israel as an infallible project. Israel has committed many atrocities and has much to answer for. Tying your identity to a corrupt government is a horrible idea. As an American, my job is to loudly criticize my government for its crimes, and I call for it to do better. I would invite Jewish people to do the same for theirs. Because with every dead Palestinian child, the world turns more and more against Israel and those who stand with her. Violence and hate only begets more violence and hate. It was that cycle of violence that got us into this mess. And the only way out of it is with Bibi behind bars. Anyways, that's all for today. Tomorrow, we'll wrap up my time here on Candace with you guys by weaving together all of the biggest conspiracy theories of our day for the ultimate tinfoil episode. Thanks for tuning in, for hitting like, leaving comments, and subscribing to Candace. I also really appreciate it if you all go and click the link in the description to go to my channel, Ian Carroll Show, and subscribe there too. I'll be back on there continuing all this content and more soon. Now, be sure to drink your water, do something nice for someone, and tell your family you love them, and we'll see you tomorrow.